Hello, and welcome to the Medically Empowered Moms podcast. I am your host, Karina Hogan. I am a special needs coach where I help divorced special needs moms like yourself navigate the challenges with caring for your newly diagnosed medically complex child. I help you to empower yourself to create an aligned life with a healthy mindset, prioritize yourself, build your confidence 2.0 style, and implement simple strategies for effective communication and healthy boundaries. I am a special needs mom myself, and I am here to tell you that you can parent how you like, and your child's goals have no timeline. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the Medically Empowered Moms podcast. So this is episode 2. So in this episode today, we are going to talk about divorce reality. So what I mean by divorce reality is all the things that happen post-divorce, whether it was 6 months ago, a year ago, or even 10 years ago. So as divorced moms, just like myself, just like you, there's a lot of unknown post-divorce. So I'm talking about when all the agreements have been settled, parenting plans are in place, everything is finalized, and you are going on with life or rebuilding life post-divorce. And I think that as special needs moms that like yourself and me that are divorced, we don't really see what the real reality is. And honestly, I really think it's because we're so wrapped up in our kids and all their medical needs and appointments and meetings and therapies that we don't take the time out to process what has happened, to process, wow, now I'm in a household by myself and I'm sharing a percentage of custody with the other parent or none at all, whatever the case may be for you. And you're navigating as a single co-parent. And that could be really, really just devastating for most people. And I know I went through my own feelings and challenges after I got divorced 4 years ago, and just navigating all those feelings. And I have to tell you, it fucking sucks. And sometimes it's hard to process those feelings, and it takes time to process those feelings. So, the challenge that we face as special needs moms, especially after divorce, is setting up schedules, parenting time, IEP meetings, school meetings, therapies, medical appointments. Because now you have to figure out, as far as around your work schedule, around the other parent's work schedule, and just all the other things. And especially if you have multiple children, you have to figure this out. And you have to create a good plan in place just to make sure there are no interruptions in your child's routine, and there's no interruptions in the therapies or the appointments that have to happen. So, in light of this new reality, a lot of thoughts come up with setting boundaries, communication, and just navigating all these tasks and making sure that you stick to a routine when it comes to this new life, this new reality of post-divorce. Now, I know I had to take some time out to really dive deep on the attachment styles that I had with my ex-husband and just all the craziness and bullshit that he used to put me through. And it was a lot. And sometimes even presently to this day, it's still kind of a lot. But I have since had the support of some amazing women in my coaching program to help me navigate those challenges and put things into perspective for me, which I hope as this podcast, I can deliver that perspective for you. Now, there's all kinds of feelings that are going to come up when it comes to post-divorce, the reality, the life that you have to try to rebuild, recreate, whatever the case may be. And it's going to come up with a lot of thoughts like, why the fuck did he do this to me? How could he break up our family? How am I going to navigate my medically complex child? How am I going to take care of things on my own if he's not present? How am I going to make sure that I don't lose my shit considering my plate is now so full? These are all the questions that I pondered when I was going through my divorce and then after everything was said and done. I can relate to you and I understand how you're feeling. And the feeling freaking sucks. And nobody wants to go through this. Nobody wants to think about this. You want to forget about this. He's a fucking asshole. I don't want to do anything with him. However, what we have to know is the concrete fact is this other person is your children's father, your child's father. That is a cold, hard fact that nobody can argue. However, just because that is a fact doesn't mean you can't change your thoughts about how you view how this divorce went. And it's okay to feel angry, depressed, rage, sadness, loneliness. You can have all the feelings. And it's perfectly okay to sit in those feelings. But then once all that is said and done, I want you to get your ass up and say, you know what? What can I do today? What is the one thing I can do today to really help my child and empower myself to create a better life? So I want you to think about that and take that piece of advice from this episode and kind of challenge yourself. I think journaling feelings is a really good way to really get those things out. Whether you like to write and journal or even a voice note on your phone. I do that all the time, especially when I get angry at my ex and he doesn't like to comply with things. I get those feelings out, whether you like to walk, work out, whatever the case may be, that can relieve that anger, that stress off of you. Because as special needs moms, we already have enough shit to deal with. We don't need anything extra. So I want you to think about that. And if you have any thoughts or anything at all, don't be afraid to email me. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. My DMs are always open, and I'm always answering my DMs. So I hope that gave you a little bit of clarity in this episode as far as how to process your feelings post-divorce and how to start rebuilding your life afterwards. I hope this episode was really helpful for you. I can't wait for you to join me on the next episode. Have a good week, and I will see you next week. Thank you for listening and joining me on this podcast. If you would like to share your story or have any questions, please reach out to me via email at thecoparentingmama.com. Head on over to Instagram, shoot me a DM at karina.hogan. Let's chat and get to know each other. My DMs are always open, and I'm here to listen and support you. Remember, mamas, thriving moms equals thriving kids. Healthy parenting starts with you. Thank you for listening.